ZoomerRadio, the original greatest hits. That's the great Shania. Man, I feel like a woman on the morning Zoom with Sam and Jane. I'm Marissa Lennox, in for Sam.
And I'm Jane, and the morning Zoom wants to introduce you to the frontrunners in the Toronto Mayoral by-election over the coming days and weeks. It's an opportunity for one-on-one conversations with some of the 102 candidates hoping to be Toronto's next mayor. Okay, we won't do all 102. Ana Bailao is among them and joins us for our first chat here in the studio. Ana, thank you so much for coming to the Zoomerplex.
So great to be here.
Let's start with last night's debate. Your campaign came out after the event by saying you were the clear winner. Why?
Well, I think there's a clear choice, and it was evident at the debate. I think on June 26th, people can have somebody that is going to be making life less affordable just by increasing taxes, somebody that all they know how to do is opposition, and somebody that has not really built housing. Or they can have somebody like me that on day one is ready to roll up the sleeves, knows how to work with council, to deliver with council, has a plan to work with the other governments to deliver for the city as well. And I think the choice is very clear.
One of the key moments from last night's debate was when you challenged Olivia Chow on raising taxes, and you asked her how she could justify it given we're in an affordability crisis. And, we've been running the clip in our newscast all morning, but there did seem to be a clear intent to target her. Was that a strategy? What was the thinking there?
Well, it's asking the questions I think voters want answers for. We have an affordability crisis in our city, and you have somebody that all they talk about is increasing taxes. They need to increase taxes to pay for their proposals, and the city has a $1.5 billion budget hole, $46 billion in capital and operating backlog. Anybody that tells you that they're going to be increasing, that they're just going to deal with these issues by increasing taxes or doing cuts is not being honest. To fill that budget hole, we would need a 39% tax increase. 39% tax increase.
Mm-hmm.
So people, we need answers from everybody. I've come forward and said we need a fair deal for Toronto. We need the province to take responsibility over the Gardiner and the DVP. Those highways are used more than 50% by people outside the city. No other city around our region pays for highways, and we spend $200 million on maintaining and upkeeping those highways. We need that money to actually fix the DTC, which is half of the pressure that we have on that budget.
Ana, that's a great plan, but Premier Doug Ford, every time he's asked about that, says that's not happening. The City of Toronto needs to take care of their own highways. So what are you going to do if the uploading of the Gardiner and the DVP isn't able to happen?
Jane, I've lived through this before. Actually, in 2011, when the Ford administration at City Hall at that time was selling out homes at Toronto Community Housing, I stopped the sale. And I put a plan forward to go and ask the other orders of government for assistance to have a $2.6 billion repair program for Toronto Community Housing. And I heard exactly the same thing. It can't be done. This is not a real plan. We need to sell these homes. You know what? We stopped the sale of the homes. We saved over 800 homes. And today we have a fully funded plan that is funded with the other orders of government. I've heard no before. I don't take no for an answer. And we need somebody that is going to stand up for the city, that is going to bring practical solutions to the table. And I am seeking that mandate from the people of Toronto. There's only one taxpayer in the city. We have an affordability crisis. We need governments to come together and to make sure that we fix the services in the city and that we build housing to make life easier and more affordable for everybody.
So the latest Forum Research poll has you currently sitting in 5th place behind Olivia Chow, Josh Matlow, Mark Saunders, and Mitzi Hunter. How do you interpret those results, and what is your plan to position yourself for victory here?
There's only one poll I'm looking at, and that's June 26th. If I'm going to look at every day, there's a different poll. I'm out there speaking to residents, listening to them, talking about what the city needs, talking about my leadership, my experience, how I bring council together, how the councillors that have endorsed me are with me to make sure that we get this plan done, how I've been able to collaborate with other orders of government, how we need to fix services in my plan to fix the TTC to make it safer and more reliable, how to build housing in the city city. That's what I'm interested in, is to make sure that our message is out there, that people understand that on day one, I'll be ready to roll up my sleeves. And actually, I've already started to stand up for this city, because I'm the only candidate that actually acknowledges that we need the other orders of government at the table. And I'm putting a solution to negotiate with the other orders of government, in particular the provincial government.
So at the moment, we have two camps forming. We have the Olivia Chow camp forming. The most recent Forum poll gives her 36% of decided voter support, with Mark Saunders behind it 18%. She is more progressive, left-leaning. Mark Saunders more right-wing. In fact, the Premier has basically, without saying his name, endorsed him. How do you ensure the support you have doesn't go off to either camp, and that you take from them? Like, at what point are you going to also target Mark Saunders and concerns you may have about his platform?
Well, I think everybody's very concerned because, as you said, Mark Saunders is the Doug Ford's preferred candidate, and having the Premier running the province and running the city, I don't think is in the best interests of the city. We need somebody that is going to be working, collaborating, but also standing up for the city when needs be, and having the interests of Torontonians at heart. So we need to make sure that we have somebody that is going to be standing up for Toronto, is going to be focused on the interests of Toronto, and that's not somebody that can't work with the other orders of government, that all they do is being in opposition, and building a party like the NDP and be in opposition and increasing taxes. And we can't have Doug Ford being the Premier and the mayor of the city, which is what we will get if we elect Mark Saunders.
No political debate is complete without a moment of unexpected disruption. What was going through your head when that protester stormed the stage and took the curtain with him?
Keep calm.
That's all you can do.
That's all we can do. Keep calm.
Yeah. And just before we say goodbye to you, Ana Bailao, we'd like to know a little bit about you, the person. I find it fascinating that you said last night you came to Canada when you were 15. Tell us about your life a little bit, about who you were when you got here and how you've come to be where you are.
I was 15 years old. My parents had already been here for a couple years, and my sister and I came in 1991. So now everybody knows my age. There you go. and as typical teenager, it was hard. You're 15 years old. It was really hard. You leave everything behind that my grandmother. And so when I got here, and I said this yesterday, what really made me feel like I was going to be okay, it was this sense of opportunity, right? I got a part-time job a couple of months later, and, I was like, okay, I can pay for my university. I can do this. And that's what really kept me going and getting involved in my community. I got into politics because of my community involvement, of wanting to make sure that feeling that was so strong, that feeling, I've never felt anything like it before, that feeling of opportunity that I was going to be okay, that people could continue to have in this city. And when we're facing the situation like today, that youth is getting pushed out, workers can't live in the city, to me, it just motivates me to get the job done, to make sure that we get that feeling of opportunity back to people. And to do that, you need to fix the core basic services of the city, like the TTC. You need to build the housing. You need to build more affordable housing. And that's why I'm bringing my experience and my leadership to the table to get it done.
Well, it's been nice getting to know you a little bit more. Mayoral candidate Ana Bailao.
All right, let's head to the roads. Here's Spencer.
We briefly had a problem on the 401 westbound in the collector ramp at the 409, but that has been quickly removed. It was the left lane blocked. Expect to see a little bit of extra volume